Hey guys, welcome back to FOMOZAR, where we research everything crypto. Before I begin today's episode, I'd like to make a short disclaimer. I'm obviously not a financial advisor. That being said, take everything I say with a grain of salt and always do your own research. So, firstly, I would like to apologize for being away for so long. I was trying to get a little bit more active in the metaverse community, and it took a little bit of my time allotted for you guys. So I'd like to make a formal apology, and I'll try to be better. You know, starting today. So today's gonna be a pretty informative episode. So get buckled in. Um, if you guys remember Influence, we covered this project on this channel not too long ago, and basically, if you aren't familiar, it is a play to earn project that is building in the metaverse as well. They are building their own metaverse, and basically, it's a play to earn game, and you can buy asteroids and mint crew members and go around basically on a space odyssey and mine resources and all that good stuff. Build the weapons, create economies. So the reason why I wanted to shed some light on it today was because they actually recently released their tokenomics, and I wanted to basically go over it with you guys. So yeah, we're gonna have a lot to learn from projects like these, just because Influence did do really well. If you just look at their crews, they have over 336 ETH traded. They already have their verified check mark. They have had it for a very long time. And if we actually go on the actual asteroids, and this is considering that we don't take into factor that they did sell out in like 3 hours back when they were selling, right? So over 1,000 ETH traded in influence assets already in the past 3 months. So these guys are pretty sick, and there is a lot of hype on it. So if you're not involved, try to get involved. I'm assuming there's going to be a free-to-play aspects in this game as well. So even if you don't want to bond your ETH to a project, you it still pays off to at least be exposed to such projects because even the free to play has rewards, right? So basically they're consumable tokens. So I'm gonna be using rovies as a point of reference to basically compare the two, right? Because at the end of the day, the goal here is to expand in growing passive income, but also learn new skills, right? And I think that's what Rovies is, in my opinion, excelling at making the community a lot more engaged than they're required by normal standards. So I like that personally. So basically, I want to see what influence has to offer and how I can leverage that further to basically come up with ideas for our own white paper, right? Because that's going to be up for discussion pretty soon here, right? So it always pays to do research, man. So let's see these guys. So basically, their consumables are going to be leveled up in 3 stages. So you can basically get these primary consumables, ores, gases, and silica. So you can have your crew members. Let me just hop on here. So you have these crew members. They're miners. Their job is to go mine. Okay. So they go mine these resources, and I'm pretty sure any crew member can do anything. But I think certain like if your crew member has a role in that specific thing, they get like a bonus or something. But yeah, I don't want to get too much into it. I want to get into the economy. That's what I'm actually interested in, right? So they got three stages of leveling up for their consumables. They got ores, gases, and silica, which you can mine directly from the asteroid. Once you have built up factories, you can refine them further into steel, glass, and alloys. Once you probably have like a research lab or something, you can manufacture these components into reactor thrusters, plating, and upgrade your ships and factories and your whole economy essentially by leveling up your consumables to the third level. Right? The NFTs contain of the asteroids, crew members, and ships. The ships, as of my knowledge, are not available as of right now. I'm not sure what the news is on that, but I am definitely on the lookout because these ships are going to be very interesting considering there is an in-game battle. You can attack people's ships and it can destroy it. So I'm assuming that the NFT also gets destroyed, or maybe it just gets taken out of battle, right? But who knows? We'll find out. So the tokenomics for the Sway token also got released, but as so far I haven't read on the like the supply. Maybe if I go further, no, I don't believe they talk about the supply, but they talk about distribution. So we'll get to that. So basically, they have a whole closed loop system for how Sway is going to be implemented into the economy. Um, so upon completion of every transaction occurring within an in-game market, owned and operated by players, a maximum transaction fee of 5% is assessed on the sell side of the trade. A portion of Sway transaction fee accrues to the owner of the specific market in which the transaction occurred. This guy. So we're talking about this right here. This loop right here. Right? The market owner is then able to define a percentage of the accrued fee that may flow back into the market's liquidity providers as incentives to encourage market participation, volume, and depth. So this guy goes ahead and he's like, hey, liquidity providers in my market, here's some incentives. So other players on other asteroids and other markets are going to come to this guy and be like, hey, right? And more transaction happens, more money this guy gets, more money this guy pumps back into these guys. Creates a positive feedback loop. A separate portion of Sway transaction fee accrues to the dev fund to support the ongoing development and maintenance of Influence. These funds will be converted to ETH DAI via decentralized exchanges on a regular basis. Okay. In addition to the transaction fee described in A, small percentage of each transaction will result in newly issued minted Sway, which will accrue to the community treasury. This is a dynamic rate which aims to achieve a specific velocity of money target on a periodic basis, effective when trailing VOM is higher than targeted, indicating a higher demand for Sway and the likelihood of rapid price inflation. The issuance rate will rise, increasing the supply of Sway, and the reverse is also true. When the VOM falls below target, the issuance rate will fall, ensuring that the supply of Sway isn't increasing while demand is falling. When Sway is newly issued, it is imperative for it to be actively moved into the economy, which is supported by the distribution from the community treasury. Community treasury Sway will be utilized to distribute Sway via in-game activity, incentives, contests, and ecosystem development grants. So I think that was a bunch of information, but in summary, they're basically a percentage of the fee that goes to the community treasury is being and also the inflation is basically there to directly be utilized by the community by these incentives, contests, and ecosystem development grants, which is awesome because incentives are everything, like everything, incentives. To aid in dampening the price volatility out of game, a portion of sway will automatically be swapped when the VOM target is exceeded. This will result in a buildup of non-sway assets in the community treasury, which will subsequently be available to be swapped back for sway when the VOM is below target. So they're basically saying they're gonna sell the top and buy the bottom. The sway token is designed to respond dynamically to changing markets conditions via feedback loops described above. These feedback loops are intended to dampen the price volatility, inflation, deflation to ensure that influence remains attractive for new entrants as well as to existing players and play to earn participants. The following is an example of how these mechanisms operate in the scenario which new players' interest spikes substantially. A substantial increase of new players seeking to get involved will lead to a supply crunch and a spike in the price of ETH. As transaction volume increase in game, new issuance of sway will rise to match the issuance of sway directly associated with this now rising velocity of money. Okay. This new sway will be distributed both in and out of game via activity incentives as well as automated DEX swaps, ultimately resulting in a higher sway supply and a dampening of rapid price increase. I see. If the spike in interest is maintained, the VOM stays high despite the ongoing issuance of new sway, the dynamic issuance rate adjustment will kick in. This will automatically raise the issuance rate on a periodic basis until the increase in the money supply leads into an easing in the VOM. So basically, it is not like AXS, or maybe I'm not sure if these guys are using dual currencies, which is very interesting. But what they're saying is the goal is the stability of sway, even if it goes out of like goes on a tangent and goes crazy, goes to the moon. They will bring it back from the moon because the point of the game is to be sustainable, not to born new millionaires and then just die off, right? This is a decentralized finance like ecosystem being developed. Like imagine like a blockchain that you can see and play with. That's what metaverse projects are like. You know, like you can go into DeFi kingdoms and do DeFi. Right? Anyways, the good stuff. Distribution. The total supply of sway prior to ongoing transaction-driven issuance is defined in proportion to the total number of lots on all 2,500,000 asteroids in Adalia. Sway will be released into Influence at the same rate as asteroids are made for available for purchase. The initial pool of sway, proportional to the asteroids already owned via the arrival and populate the belt sales, will be distributed via initially seeded liquidity pools presented on Adalia Prime at the launch of exploitation. Liquidity pools are two-sided and so will contain both in-game materials and resource as well as sway. Crew assignments are rewarded via the community treasury. Recruitment awards are rewarded via the treasury. Early adopter rewards for arrival sale asteroids. A portion of the starter pack which was defined and shared during the arrival sale. Okay. So basically, bigger asteroids get a bigger draw. That's what's up. That's a shame. At least I have a bunch, but that's still sick. So basically, the distribution depends on the amount of lots you have on your asteroid. So it is literally based on the size of your asteroid. That's pretty cool. Sway includes multiple governed components. The fraction of the transaction fee that accrues to the debt fund, which activates which activities are incentivized and to what degree, velocity of money target, the percentage of the community treasury dedicated to the price suppression and support. Initially, these factors will be governed centrally by the influence team. However, as influence is being built on to be a community-owned and operated game, we will take deliberate steps to decentralize governance of Sway. This will be facilitated by future introduction of an influence governance token. Okay, so they are introducing a governance token later. This token will follow many of the same philosophies as Sway and will intentionally prioritize active participants within the influence universe, both in its distribution and as well as any ongoing benefits. The governance token will not be released until after the launch of exploitation and prior to the discovery release. Lots of stuff going on. So basically guys, if you are participating in the influence ecosystem, you got to use some crews. These on I believe December 16th, these crew members are finally going to get to do some crew assignments, and they're going to get paid from the community treasury, as you've seen from this feedback loop. The community treasury is getting to the players, right? That's us. So you're getting the soy. You're getting some soy by completing these crew assignments, and they're on a weekly basis. So make sure you guys are pretty active in the community, and make sure you do your weekly assignments because you do get paid in soy. So I want to wrap it up there. But final words, I want to say if you guys haven't uploaded your Rovi to the Obsidian page, I highly suggest you contact Trey Waters in Discord on MetaZone's Discord and get yourself uploaded, man. There's a free POAP for any Rovi that is uploaded onto this page. So you guys already have Rovies, might as well upload them, right? Don't be lacking and miss out on our free giveaway just because you didn't know, because I just told you. But until next time, Zara out.